Let me go ahead and introduce our speaker of the day. We have Sri Mundata, who has worked with Entytle for the past 8 years. He takes care of the entire data and DevOps infrastructure for Entytle. He has been instrumental in building an install-based data studio focused on industrial data workflows, which he's going to go ahead and jump into. And with that being said, Sri, I'll let you take it away.
Thanks a lot for the introduction, Colin. Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining our webinar today. I'm excited to talk to you about a common challenge faced by industrial OEMs, which is managing the install-based data effectively. Most of you would agree to this, that this is a comprehensive process. And over the next few minutes, I'd like to shed light on how do we do it differently and repetitively and at a larger scale at Entytle. So let's start with a scenario which many of you might be familiar with. Your install-based data, as you see in this slide, would be scattered across various functional systems like CRM systems, ERP, FSM, different spreadsheets or e-commerce tools, legacy systems, and so on. And each of the systems may hold valuable information, but accessing and unifying this data can be a daunting task. So it's like having all the pieces of a puzzle, but not being able to see the complete picture. And this is what we see across every single prospect or customer that we talk to. On top of that, the data here would be often messy, inconsistent formats, duplicate entries, incomplete records, which really makes it difficult to gain accurate insights onto the data, which becomes a big hindrance and leads to missed revenue opportunities. And this problem gets further compounded by the data silos. And it's not that companies do not make investments in this area, but thing is, the lack of a comprehensive process around this data stitching, cleaning, unification leads to eventually yet another silo. So what's the solution and where does Entytle come into picture? So what Entytle has done is we have built a clean and unified process that does the data cleaning, enrichment, analysis on your IB data, which keeps your IB objects at the center. So if we look at this data journey, so here what we are striving is to transform your raw data into actionable insights through the Entytle install-based intelligence platform. So we begin by gathering the relevant data from different systems. Then we move to data exploration, where we do a lot of heavy lifting on the data quality and the data cleaning part of it before feeding it to our analytics pipeline, where we have built certain custom purpose-built models centered around the IB data. And only when we have validated those results, backtested them, we push it to the final destination, which are basically actionable intelligence, which are accessed by customers, leading into more revenue opportunities for them. Having said that, the most crucial aspect in this journey is the data quality, as it lays the foundation for accurate analysis and generate reliable insights in your IB data journey. So we'll just deep dive into the data quality piece, because it has to be really comprehensive. So if you take a step back and understand what are the primary objects around the IB data. So they could be transactions, equipments, item master, bill of materials, the service data, service contact data, warranties, location masters, and all of these data in real life is scattered across different systems. So the first thing is it should be cleaned and unified and also enriched further, so that you can stitch this into a high quality install base. And during this process, it's also important to have proper data governance and security practices, because it's important to ensure integrity and protection of your data. But having said that, it's easier said than done, basically. As you can see in this slide, cleaning and stitching this install-based data is a comprehensive process, but it requires a lot of investment, diverse skill sets, multiple tools, which is really a time-consuming and expensive thing to do. So at Entytle, we have built something called as as a part of the Entytle install-based intelligence platform. We have built something called as Entytle install-based data studio, which unifies all the data from all of your different systems into a single cohesive system. So This ensures that we achieve high quality data focused around your IB use cases. And on that high quality data, we generate 360-degree analysis like the parts revenue trend, equipment revenue trend, services revenue trend, identify the health of your customers, both at a macro and a micro level, and make specific predictions and prescriptions around equipments opportunities, parts opportunities, and so on. So at a high level, this is what our approach is. Uh, what I do is I now directly jump into our product demo because the proof of the pudding is in the eating, where I would actually show what is it that Entytle install-based data studio has to offer and how do we do it. Yeah. As you can see here, into the IB Data Studio, we have different workspaces for different persona. One is data prep workspace, where we do all the data profiling, stitching, and cleaning related stuff. Another is the analytic and the setup for basically the metadata management. In the analytics, we have descriptive, predictive, and prescriptive opportunities on the cleaned and unified IB data that we would have done into the data prep workspace. Once we jump into data prep workspace, you would see a lot of services. All of them are like self-explanatory. So data prep is where you prep all the data. Data loader and delta load is where we ingest this data into our target systems. And deduplication is where we deduplicate locations, which is a common identifier across all different systems that we have spoken about earlier. So on the data acquisition side, you can upload file from your local machine, or you can import directly from your databases, import directly from Snowflake. And once you have imported the data, we run several jobs to profile that data. So if I jump into one of the jobs, what you can see here is a data distribution, which helps in identifying outliers, missing values, the patterns in your data. For example, if I look at the report of this particular data set that I have, it has roughly 150,000 records, and 30% of the data is missing. Now, if you look at this, you have different attributes, cardinality of different columns, which denotes what is the how many number of records in your data are distinct. It will, by virtue of a box plot, you would identify any outliers in your data. So doing this in the initial phase helps you really helps you identify how does my data quality look like. Is this because if take a classic case where your data may be lying into 2 to 3 different systems, you could unify that and bring all of that data together. And this gives you a unified picture of your data distribution. And then you can take a call on how do you improve the quality of this data. And if it is good, you move ahead, or if not, you can perform several elementary and complex data operations. Some of them are merging a column or splitting a column, deleting it, renaming it for better readability. There are no code, low code operations like find and replace by regular expressions. You can just find by certain pattern and then replace it by a specific value. There are SQL type joins where you can do left, right, inner join on your data. Then so I can choose a data set and do a left, right, inner join or full outer join with any other data set. There are no code operations like create new column of type string, number, date, boolean, and you can perform various operations. So if column A is empty and column B is not empty, so different kind of no code things. You can define a uniqueness criteria on your data. You can say that a combination of n number of columns defines my record as unique, and what it do is it would drop duplicates. That's how you keep unique records. Then there are other operations like SQL type group by or SQL type ranking functions, where you can group by certain things and then you can use certain functions. One of the use cases is you would have got some initial set of data from your system. Now you want to append additional data to this. So you can union it, uh, pattern matching by regular expressions. So you can count and extract matches by certain regular expressions. And the best part is whatever you do, you can put this as a part of the recipe, so that the next time when you get similar data, you can rerun the same recipe step that you had written earlier. And what you are seeing here is something called an IB continuum, basically, which is a connected flow of different objects in a data set. So I've got all of these transaction data from different sources. I have done a lot of cleaning that is common across all these objects in a single recipe and then split into its respective destinations. So, and these are the standard objects like orders, assets, services, service contracts, warranties, which primarily deal with your IB use cases. Now that this data would have been clean and enriched, we also have a deduplication service where we can deduplicate certain those locations by whatever definition. So you may say a combination of customer name, state, zip country makes my location unique, or just a combination of customer name makes my accounts unique. So as you can see here, this connects communication. It is present across different systems, and then we have brought all of them as a part of the single cluster. So this is how you deduplicate your purchasing entities or locations, which help you unify your data in a much better fashion. Now that this cleaning and unification will be done, we feed it to our analytics pipeline. So we have a lot of services which work on this clean and unified data. And for better readability, so I'll just show the configuration screen where we have services both at a macro and a micro level. At a macro level, we can generate what is the propensity or probability that a location would transact either a part or an equipment or a service from you in the next n number of days. So once you train a model, you can use it for next n number of days, or you can train a new model based on the data sets. If based on uh, the transaction history that you have got, you can rank contacts by assigning weights to their occurrences into different sources of the data, and you can rank contacts. This typically solves your whom to call problem once you have opportunities created on the IB data. We also have predictive and prescriptive opportunities on the transaction history. So you can uh, generate opportunities at a micro level where you would say that location X would transact item Y in the next 90 days, and this is the quantity and this is the probability. So this is, and we call it as a purchase rate service. At a micro level, we can segment your customers by usage and basically total number of parts and total number of revenue that they would have generated. We can also calculate the frequency, consistency, and recency of every purchasing entity or location. What is the frequency with which they are buying? What is the consistency? And based on these metrics, we can also calculate, are your customers drifting away from you? Well, a customer that was consistently buying from you, has that customer drifted away from you recently? So these are the kind of information analytics that we can generate at a macro and a micro level on that clean and unified data. So this is the USP of Entytle itself is Data Studio, where we do all of this heavy lifting, all of them under a single roof, as you can see in the slide. So you get data from different sources. You uh, uh, you do all the data stitching, cleaning, unification. We perform different purpose-built analytics like calculating a wallet share or trend or propensity, and the predictive and prescriptive opportunity that I spoke about a while ago. And all of this can be viewed into our flagship product, which is Entytle Insights, which gives you a 360-degree visibility on your install base data, where you can do a search or filtering or prioritize your hunting list. You can also push this data directly into your CRM or into data lakes. We have customers who have given us access to their CRM systems, where we directly push it to their Salesforce or any other system that they would have configured. We also have a lot of open APIs wherein our customers access this clean and unified data via APIs and gain the value, or basically derive maximum value on this cleaned and unified data. And one such example is how effortlessly we can integrate this data into a Salesforce CRM. So what you heard from me in the previous slides or for the past few minutes is all your major IB objects like equipments, parts, services, service contracts. Once you have clean, enriched, and unified that into the Entitle install base intelligence platform, all of them can be pulled seamlessly into your Salesforce account, thereby giving you a 360-degree view under a single roof. and giving you more revenue opportunities, and you can do, and there are like endless possibilities to do things around your install base data. So this is what I had for today. In the next webinar, we would be talking about the integration with Salesforce, and also how Entytle analytics help our customers generate more revenue by means of more predictive and prescriptive opportunities. So with this, I would like to leave it to the audience for any questions.
Yeah, we had a couple questions come in, Shri. Thanks for doing that. Always good to learn from the best in the industry. So one of the first questions that we got was, once the initial data is present in your system, how does the incremental data get loaded moving forward?
Yeah, that's a very good question, Colin. So as you saw, what we have done is we have introduced, productionized those things in form of recipes. So any number of steps that you perform on the data, that gets stored in form of a recipe, and we have delta load services which picks the incremental data by either by way of change data capture, or we have mechanism to identify those incremental data and load it seamlessly into our system, so that all the latest data around IB is always maintained into the IB platform.
Got it. Thanks. And then we had another question here. How easy is it to integrate Entytle with Salesforce, and what is the added value it can give?
Yeah, so it's again a very good question, and as you can see on my slide, so this is what you would see once you have clean and unified data into your Salesforce account, where under under this IB Intelligence tab, which is created by Entitle, you would see a 360-degree view of all your IB objects under a single tab. So it's once the data is cleaned and unified, the next step is pretty easy. And we have made it easy for our customers to have all of the data under a single roof.
Right, they're keeping up with their current workflows that they have or the current tech set that they use, but have the capability of expedited account
Yeah.
research done all in front of them.
Yeah.
Okay, that's all the questions that we had come through today. If anybody has any sort of follow-up questions, please feel free to reach out to us, and we can get you connected to the right party here at Entytle.
Yep.
All right. With that being said, thanks everybody. We look forward to seeing you in the next event.
Thank you. Thank you everyone for joining.